Good evening, everybody. Good evening. What's happening? What's happening? Hoping everybody is all well. Welcome to the discussion by Rich Nicks Reacts. First thing I want to do is, I know the disclaimer played at the beginning, but always a mirror held up to the black community. But today, in this video, I'm going to hold the mirror up to the white community. Now, there's no problem with, you guys holding the mirror up, you know what I'm saying, to the community. How could I say that's the scripture that you guys that came across the screen. It's Ecclesiastes 7:7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroys the heart. Now, to explain this scripture, the Lord is saying, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. So the Lord is saying, if you're not mad from being oppressed, you're not wise. That's basically what he's saying in this scripture. It's saying that you should be mad. You're oppressed. Okay, who's oppressed? Who's oppressed? Us. We are. And a gift destroys the heart. And what it means about a gift is let me see. Let me think of a perfect example where a gift, you can say you've been given a good job, like the sports world. They're not allowed to speak about certain things that goes on in the community, because as you see, you don't see and hear from none of them. That's what a gift destroys the heart, because you won't speak up, because you're being given little trinkets, jobs, money, what is it? SNAP of benefits. Just shh, be quiet, don't say anything. Shh, you can't say anything. So with that, I'm going to play this video, and this is just to get you guys. I'm holding that mirror up. So let's get into this video. Like I said, viewer discretion is advised. And if you're sensitive, bye-bye. Just click off if you don't like it.
Hey, what's up, folks? It's Buckshot here again on Saturday afternoon at 1:10. I'm going to say it like this. In my opinion, the white man should have never ended slavery.
Now you hear this. Sorry about that. Now you hear this, guys. You guys heard what he said out his own mouth. He is his forefather, his ancestor. He is his forefathers. And what I mean by that is, that the slave owners, they're their children, and we're the children of the slaves. Now, I'll carry on before I say anything else.
Of the black community. White man should have never abolished slavery. Because
one thing, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let it play. One thing he doesn't realize is he doesn't have control of that. He doesn't have control of that. The Most High does, and I'm gonna prove that. The Most High has control of that.
Once they were free, look how much his shit's gotten out of hand since the white man ended slavery. But yet we're blamed for what happened to them when their own people are the ones that sold them into slavery. We should have never ended.
Sorry about that. Now I'm gonna address that point what he just said, where our own people sold us in slavery. So remember that.
Slavery of the black people. I may get a lot of hate for saying this, but that's what I say. I say we should have never ended slavery. Because now these motherfuckers got too much power. And they're blatantly racist against the white people. But I'll tell you, I think it's time the white people start being racist against them. And we bring back slavery.
In order to be racist to someone, you have to have power over them, economic power. So how can we be racist? We don't even have our own military. Everybody else have someone representing them except for us. Case in point. What is that table that everybody sits in New York? I think where the exchanges go, where all the other countries are noticing, because you notice there's, let me see, there's the Chinese, the Africans, but you and other races, but you do not see anybody there representing the so-called African Americans, which that's not our name. That's not what God called us, but that's another time. And I'm also going to address, it's two issues that I'm going to address, but I'm going to let this play out and then I'm going to get into addressing those two issues.
How about that? Have a good day.
All right. For one, where he said that the white man shouldn't have done away with slavery. That's all fine and dandy. But guess what? Nobody paid for slavery. Nobody paid for it. And also, guess what? There, in the scripture, you know what I'm saying? There's going to be consequences about that. And if you don't believe me, Exodus, which you guys will probably see it up on the screen. Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he is or he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Now, I'm going to address this scripture. He that stealeth a man and selleth him. Okay, now, wasn't we stolen from our homeland? Wasn't we we sold? So, to this guy right here, you know what I'm saying? He's saying that proudly. But the scripture said, well, Christ said that he that stealeth a man and selleth him, and if he be found in his hands, aren't we still in you guys' hands? We're still in your hands. We're not back in our homeland. And he shall be put to death. Now, it's not saying that we're going to put you to death. That's Christ. Christ is going to hand down the judgment. He's gonna hand down the judgment, and later on in this video, you'll see what I'm talking about. Well, I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean he's gonna hand down the judgment? Nobody paid for that. Nobody paid for slavery. Nobody paid for that. So now the second one. The second one I'm going to address where he said, we sold each other. That's untrue. I'm so tired of hearing that. Well, blacks sold blacks. That's totally untrue. And see, they blindly say this stuff and they don't even know their own history. And I'm going to prove that right now. Let's go to this to debunk what he just said. Blacks sold blacks. All right here. Are you guys familiar with darn it, I just got a brain fart. from the Bible, the what is it? The Bible dictionary. But it is stating it's gonna prove that Africans and black and so-called blacks are not the same people. But this information, it'll come back to me. But right here it says Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Canaanites. So that debunks what he said in that video. That debunks it. So I'm sorry. I want to put that to bed because I'm tired of hearing that. I hear that all the time. Well, you guys sold each other. No, 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 no. We're 2 different people. Yes, we do have, yes, our people are over there and mixed among them. But all of them are not our people. All of them are not our people. And you can tell the distinct between us and them. So that needs to be put to bed. We don't want to hear no more about that. All right, let me see. All right, guys. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get into this video. It's Dr. Umar. Well, he exposes the shocking truth about Carmelo Anthony's case and reveals detail eyewitnesses told him. Now, let's get into it.
Carmelo Anthony. You know, Art, if you go back and take a look at the slave codes in all of the original 13 colonies, and if you
I'll be addressing that too, the slave codes.
you look at the slave codes in any of the slave states of America, you will find that Black men or women never had a right to defend themselves against a white assailant. You could not fight back against your slave master, nor could you fight back against any white person for any reason. If they hit you, you couldn't fight back. If they hit you, you couldn't fight back.
There is truth to this. There's a lot of truth to it. And how I can say it, everybody can sit up and they can act naive and they can act crazy because you see that now. And with this Carmelo Anthony case, you can see it. It was clearly that those boys were the aggressors. But regardless of whether they're the aggressors, you're not allowed to defend yourself. It does not matter. But if the shoes was on the other foot, there wouldn't even be no charges. They would say, well, they was aggressive. If I'm not mistaken, it's stand your grounds in Texas. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing they would have hollered. You know what I'm saying? Stand your ground, stand your ground. He had every right to defend himself. Carmelo Anthony had every right to defend himself. And I'm going to prove it throughout this video that, you know, they gave that boy a long sentence for defending himself. And you just heard what Dr. Umar said. You wasn't allowed because back then, if you did, it was the same thing. You will be put in jail and you will never get out, or you will be lynched or hung or put or unalived.
They steal from you, you couldn't fight back. If they tried to sell your child away illegally, you couldn't fight back. So we need to understand something.
I like making my podcast. I don't like.
Okay. Sorry about the commercials, guys. It's going to be commercials in here.
White America, going back to the plantation, white America has always felt that they had absolute jurisdiction over the black body. This goes back to slavery when they owned us. They owned us. Old habits die hard. And since you have a legacy in this country, a custom and a culture where black people don't even have the right to protect their own body, you get this situation that we are dealing with now with our 17-year-old.
Now, once again, the mirror is being held up. Now, is he lying? No, he's not lying. You see it every day. A person gets shot down by the police. And they're not doing it. Now, I'm not saying if they're trying to pew-pew the police. I have to say that. I'm not saying if they're trying to pew-pew the police, because that's something totally different, because you shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't try to pew-pew the police. I'm just saying, if a brother, like for instance, a brother sitting in the car and he gets pulled over and he has a license to carry and he get gunned down, what happens? Nothing. You don't have rights to your own body. You don't. And throughout this, I have a lot of videos. I have a whole lot of videos. So y'all just sit back, get you some popcorn, because like I said, I'm holding that mirror up to white America like they do us. It's time. It's always us. It's always us. It's always us. So sit back and relax and enjoy. I'm not even going to say the show. Just enjoy this. This is some good information coming out. And once again, I'm going to state again, it's not to cause confusion, division, or for anybody to go do harm to anybody. I'm not sitting up saying that, you know what I'm saying, black folks should go do harm to white people. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just sitting up, like I said, I'm holding that mirror up in front of you guys' face like you do us here. Now you have to look at yourself in the mirror. You have no choice. After I'm done bringing out this stuff, you won't have no choice. You can say what you want. You can get upset. You can get mad, which is quite ironic that when they sit up and speak upon other communities, it's like, you know, we can't respond when we respond to them. It's just like, we're going to cancel you. We're going to do this, but you guys are allowed to say what you want to say. And you're going to see something. You're going to see it throughout these videos. You're going to see it. Everything I'm saying, I'm going to back it up. I'm going to back it up. And I got some heat. As y'all see all those tabs up there open, up there, I got some heat. I'm going to prove what I'm saying.
Brother down in Frisco, Texas, Carmelo Anthony. Now, first, white folks, when they heard about this situation, they automatically tried to paint him like a criminal. But that didn't work, Art, because he's a 3.73 GPA student. He's the captain of at least 2 sports teams. He has no prior criminal history. And then they said,
which that's what they like to do. They always like to criminalize us. But we'll see.
From a 2-parent home where they work and they live in an affluent suburban part of Frisco, Texas. So the ghetto narrative that the media likes to paint, or
in which they're always trying to paint that narrative, that ghetto, that ghetto narrative. They're always trying to paint that, but Carmelo Anthony, he doesn't fit that. He doesn't fit that. It's always it's always scrutinize the victim. You got to make the victim look bad. You see that all the time. But then, excuse me, but then if Lil Johnny do something, it's he had a bad upbringing. He his mother died. It's always an excuse. But when it's us, oh, he's a thug, he's a criminal, he's this. So yeah, it's always it's always two sides. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wouldn't say two sides. It's always this side when it comes to this side. I have a video on that. That's somebody's gonna be bringing that out. So
black men accused of physical violence did not work with Carmelo. So what do we know about this case? Carmelo Anthony was at a track meet. Some people claim it was a district track meet. Others claim it was a community track meet, but children from the district were there. I don't know for sure. It'll come out in court as to whether this was a school district track meet or whether this was a community track meet that simply included children from the school district. I don't know for sure. Then they say the weapon used in this self-defense act was a knife.
it wasn't even a knife.
Said it was not a knife, but it was a tool that is used to clean cleats. We don't know. We will have to see when the case takes place in trial. However, Art, what we do know is it was raining that day at the track meet. It was raining. Carmelo wanted to escape the rain. And as you know, Art, when it's raining,
You know what came to my mind? The gall of them. And you can tell that it's like they can go where they want to go and it's okay. And why I say that is the gentrification that you see, and I'm pretty sure everybody see it in every city. They come in our neighborhoods and try to take over our neighborhoods. Now, this young man went and sat up under the tent to stay out the rain, but he's not allowed. Now, if the shoes was on the other foot and he went over and he sat up under the tent, I guarantee you that nobody would have said nothing to him. Why nobody would have said nothing to him? Because everybody knows that black people are loving. They're too loving. They love people who hate them. And they just want to keep love, 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 love. I just want to love. How can you sit up and love somebody that hates you? You can't.
and you want to escape it, you'll run to the closest tent you can find.
Yep.
It don't matter if it's your school's tent. It don't matter if it's my school's tent. It don't matter if it's your team's tent. It don't matter if it's the other team's tent. I don't want to get soaking wet, so I'm going to go sit under a tent. I'm not bothering nobody. I'm minding my business. I'm just trying to keep dry.
Yep.
So then the two Hunter boys see him.
Imagine being able to build with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Hunter and Austin. And they decide to approach and engage Carmelo. Now, the media is being dishonest about this situation, Art. The media is claiming that this was a one-to-one fisticuff.
It wasn't a one. I think I do have a video stating that it wasn't just the two Metcalf boys. It was other boys that were involved in it, and they said the two Metcalf boys' total weight together was almost 500 pounds. So, because they were football players, I seen the picture of these boys.
Between Hunter, okay, and Carmelo. I'm going to say between one of the brothers because I keep getting the names mixed up. I believe it was Hunter, and I do want to say rest in peace to him. My condolences to his father, his family. Nobody deserves to lose a child. Black, white, red, yellow, or brown. Nobody deserves to lose a child, not at that age, regardless of whose fault it was. I'm sorry they lost their child. Condolences to the family. So R.I.P. Hunter comes in gate.
Notice, I want you guys to notice this. Notice how we always show our condolences, but you don't see that from the other side. You hear other stuff. You hear all type of slurs being thrown out, or it's always well, he brought it upon himself, which they brought it upon themselves. And I'm going to say that boldly because if you go and you attack someone and whatever outcome comes after that, that's on you. That's on you. It's just like if I go and I try to run up in the bank and I the security guard unalives me, that's on me. That's on me. I caused that. I went up in their establishment. But when it comes to us, oh no, you know what I'm saying? You're not allowed to defend yourself. And you're going to see that throughout this stream. You're going to see that. We're not allowed to defend ourselves. We're not allowed. But let the shoes be on the other foot, like I said. What's the one boy's name? For example, what is it? Kyle Rittenhouse, I think. His mother drove him to a protest with an assault rifle. He ended up unaliving some people, and he got off. This stuff is out there. It's knowledgeable, but what tends to happen is you get people that'll sit up and like, oh no, that doesn't happen. Oh, they must have done something. That's not always the case. We're hated. We are hated. And like I said again, I'm going to hold that mirror up. And you're going to have no choice but to look in the mirror. You're going to have no choice but to look in the mirror.
Teaches Carmelo with his brother Austin. Hunter and Austin tell Carmelo, you're under the wrong tent. Get from under the tent. Carmelo says, I'm just trying to stay dry or get dry. Leave me alone. Hunter, rest in peace, smacks the phone out of Carmelo's hand. He smacks the phone.
That's assault.
And the other brother, Austin, allegedly, goes to get his book back. Now, Art, I want to put
that's theft.
perspective for you, Art. Carmelo Anthony is 160 pounds. Rest in peace. Hunter is 225 pound football player. Hunter is nearly 60, 70 pounds heavier than Carmelo by himself. But he was not by himself, Art. Hunter was with his brother Austin. Austin is around Hunter's size as well.
Say that meth cap, nothing happened to that meth cap boy. What do you think would have happened to Carmelo? It would have been a public lynching. It would have been a public lynching. It probably would have. He probably would have been unalive. He probably would have been unalive. But him being that small and scared, when you're scared, you're going to react and you're going to defend yourself. That's that what fight or flight. You know what I'm saying? That's automatic. If you back a scared person in a corner, he will unalive you. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. If you back someone in the corner and they're scared, you're gonna get unalived.
So what you have in this situation, Art, is a 160-pound skinny black boy minding his business, and here comes two racist white boys who decide that they're going to remove this black boy from their tent with force. So you got to ask yourself something.
Like they're the police.
If I'm a 160-pound black boy, two white boys in racist Texas, both of whom are 60 to 70 pounds heavier than me, they come to accost me physically, knock my phone.
That's assault.
Try to grab my bag.
And that's
theft. Me out. The media is making you think it's only one.
If you work in IT, you probably know that moment.
We don't have access. We really need you. It's urgent.
But guess what? I've been
one thing I agree with Donald Trump is when he talks about the media with the lies. The media has been doing that for years, painting a narrative of so-called Black Americans, which we're not Americans, which that's the name of a white explorer. America broke. I can't even say his name. America Vespucci or something like that. I can't even say his name, but yeah, that's a white explorer.
Text message by eyewitnesses. I have received text messages from eyewitnesses, and you know what they told me?
Now, I got video of the eyewitnesses too.
Tried to jump Carmelo,
and I believe it.
Brothers tried to jump Carmelo. This was not a one-on-one fight. It was 2-on-1, but Austin.
It was more than 2-on-1.
Truth, because if he tells the truth part, that helps Carmelo to establish
self-defense,
his right to stand his ground.
Yep.
In the state of Texas, Art, you have the right to stand your ground. You know what that means? That means you have no duty to flee.
Yeah.
You are approached by somebody trying to harm you.
Now it's clear and cut that it's self-defense. You got two assailants that's approaching someone and trying to physically remove this person. So they have every right not to flee, but to stand their grounds. But as you notice, it's like, nah, you can't do that. You can't, no. Remember, we're going to go back to the scripture that I read. He that stealeth a man and and selleth him, and he's found in your hand. There's going to be hell pay the captain. So don't think for a minute that all this stuff, guys, that's going on is gonna go unanswered, because you have white America have been putting their hands on the children of God for too long. Yes, I said it. And that's right. That can be proven. I have some information in here about that we are God's chosen people. Putin showed you guys that when he opened up the vault and showed you that all those pictures was whitewashed. But we've been known that. We've been known that our history was whitewashed because we already knew that the Moors, they ruled Europe, all of that stuff over there. That's why they call it the Dark Ages. We can read now. But to my people, it's time to stop all the foolishness. Pick up a book and read it. There's an old saying that they always say that is true. That it is true. If you want to hide something from I'm going to say, brother, put it in the book. But with all this technology out here and smartphones, it's just time for the foolishness. I see all type of foolishness out here on social media, all the fighting, all the shooting, all of that crap. It's time out for all that bullshit. It's time out for all of that. Stuff is being thrown in front of our face that they're showing us, which is still on the books, that it's still on the books. We're still 3/5 of a human being, and that's how they're treating us. Am I lying? Yes, I'm getting uptight because of this, the scripture that I read. Ecclesiastes 7:7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. So we should be mad. But like I said, you can be angry but sin not. That don't mean you go out and you harm everything, because we should still live peacefully with all men. That's what the scriptures say. So it's not. How could I say this? We're you can tell we're God's people because we're loving. And we try to live peacefully with all men. But the mistake we make is where we try to let people in our so-called culture. We're so quick to let people in. But if you notice, everybody else is not letting us in. Wake up, people. And like I said, this is not to cause division. This is two things: to put the mirror up in front of white America. And this is to show our people, wake the hell up. Stop all the foolishness. Stop all the foolishness. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with us looking out for us. Everybody else do. Am I wrong? Why do they have a Chinatown? Don't nobody say nothing. But every time we try to do something, it's like they always want to try to infiltrate what we do. But do you see us trying to infiltrate the KKK? No. So why is it that they always trying to infiltrate us? Infiltrate our movements? Why? Huh? Answer that. Somebody.
In the state of Texas, you do not have to run. In the state of Texas, if somebody is approaching to harm you, you have no duty.
But that doesn't apply to us, though.
If you feel that your life or safety is in imminent danger, you have a right to defend yourself, to include using deadly force. So when you hear people say, why didn't he run? First of all, it was raining. So I assume the ground was wet. These two boys, troublemakers, respectfully, but
Yep.
the troublemakers.
No, call it.
Athletes. So I'm sure.
Call it how it is.
Well.
Ain't no respectfully. Call it how it is.
Texas is.
Now we sit up and we're always saying you're savages and this and you're that. No, they was troublemakers. Not no respectfully. Call it for what it is.
And your ground law did not require Carmelo to run. He had a right to stand and defend himself. And I'm going to say that if I am Carmelo Anthony's lawyer, I am arguing to the jury. My client
Ooh, that's hot.
felt that his safety was an imminent threat, that he felt he was about to be harmed by two football playing brothers, both of whom weighed 60 to 70 pounds more than him, and with a combined weight art of nearly 500 pounds. A combined weight. These two brothers, Austin and Hunter, of nearly 500 pounds against this one skinny, 160-pound black boy, Carmelo. Under those circumstances, Art.
Like I said, it would have been a lynching. If it would have went the other way, if Carmelo wouldn't have to defend him, if he would have not defended himself, it would have went a whole nother way, and then it would have been a narrative. Well, he was causing trouble. What trouble did he cause? And I'm speaking boldly. There's eyewitnesses. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it. We're gonna get down. We're gonna get down to the nitty gritty here. We're gonna get down to the nitty gritty. But one thing, too, that I'm gonna show too is that y'all have put y'all hands on God's chosen people too long. And he is on his way back. He's on his way back. Once again, it's not nothing we're gonna do. And to my people, I'm not sitting up telling anybody out there to go and pick up guns because you're gonna lose that fight. You're gonna lose that fight. All they got to do is cut off your water supply, cut off your food supply. Bullets, they make them. So we have to wait on the Most High. That's what we have to do.
I believe that he had a right to stand his ground.
That's
If
right.
I'm 160 pounds.
That's right.
Get exclusive Mortal Kombat 2 wallpapers for your PC.
Y'all, I'm sorry about these ads.
And two football playing brothers with a combined weight of more than 400, nearly 500 pounds are coming to jump me.
I'm gonna defend myself.
160 pounds. And I warn them, touch me again and see what happens. He's warning them, Art. He's warning them. I don't want no trouble. But if y'all think y'all going to hurt me and do damage to me, I'm going to do whatever I can to protect myself. And according to the law, Art, he was within his right to do so. I don't think.
Now, what he just said is true. That what's that one guy Chud the Builder. And he's going around, which he has freedom of speech. He's going around saying all type of stuff. And then if any of those brothers would have jumped on him and he'd have shot him, he may have got away with stand your ground in self-defense. He may have. So, but like I said, when it comes to us, it doesn't count for us because the Constitution was not made for us. If when the Constitution was made, we was in slavery. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back of the room. When the Constitution was made, we was in slavery. So it wasn't meant for us. And I can't stand when some of our people try to argue that. Or the Constitution, no, brother, no, sister, that wasn't written for you. We were in slavery when that was written. That's their Constitution. Our Constitution is the Bible. Yeah, I said it. Our Constitution is the Bible. Our history is in the Bible. That's our Constitution. Yeah, now I said it.
He intended to kill the brother. After he just intended to jab him so he would back off. But But when you are afraid, when you are scared, when you are timid, when you are fighting for your life, Art, you will do anything. How many women have shot and killed domestically abusive husbands and didn't do it on purpose? How many women have shot and killed domestically abusive husbands, but they didn't do it on purpose? They did it out of
Justify
fear.
homicide.
They need to act before he acts. And if I
Justify homicide.
he could have been beat to death that day.
Yep, that's what I said.
Carmelo Anthony could have been beat to death that day, and instead he chose to stand his ground. So what's the problem, man? Why are white folks all up in arms over this? Y'all wasn't up in arms when Breonna Taylor got murdered.
Facts.
Y'all wasn't up in arms when Trayvon got murdered.
Facts.
Y'all wasn't up in arms with Freddie Gray or Philando Castile,
Facts.
Tamir Rice or
Facts.
Bland. Y'all wasn't up in arms with Amir Locke,
Facts.
Sonia Massey. All these black people murdered by police and so-called vigilante white people. Y'all didn't say nothing about them.
Sure didn't.
Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines.
Did not just say that.
Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines, bought a rifle, crossed state lines, unalived 2 people, injured many others, and he went home free.
That he had an intent. That was premeditated. That's what you call premeditated murder. When you bring a pew pew across state lines, that should across state lines, and then you end up murdering people. That's premeditated murder. And we all know that. And y'all can't sit up here and say that, oh, no, it's not. Yes, it is. Because he knew exactly what he was doing. Why would you bring an assault rifle across a town, if across state lines to a protest, if you wasn't planning on using it? Stop it. With the shenanigans. We ain't falling for it no more.
No conviction. George Zimmerman pursued Trayvon Martin with a gun, shot him in cold blood. He went home. No conviction.
Doesn't apply to us.
Daniel Penny choked our brother Jordan Neely to death in a New York City subway. Daniel Penny choked Jordan Neely to death in a New York City subway. Art.
No charges.
No conviction.
See?
Daniel Penny pursued Jordan Neely. George Zimmerman.
Now, later on down the I have a scripture for that. I want to bring it out because I have it for another video, but it's gonna come later on down the road.
Pursued Trayvon Martin. Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines and pursued trouble, and they went home without a charge. Carmelo Anthony was sitting under a tent so he couldn't get wet. He was sitting under a tent so he couldn't get wet, and 2 racist white boys, rest in peace to Hunter, condolences to his family. But these 2 racist white boys thought they had a right to forcibly move this black boy from that space. White people have always felt that they had jurisdiction over the black body. It goes back to the plantation days, Art. The problem with this case is the stand your ground law was meant for white people to be used against black people. The stand your ground.
What did I just say? let me give y'all another little history lesson. That's facts. Right when they slavery was abolished, and then during the Jim Crow era and stuff, those slave catchers, they didn't have no jobs. So they was given jobs. Now everybody can look this information up. Guess what? They're here today, but guess what they are today? Back then, back then, they didn't have no jobs. They were given jobs, and they were given police jobs, which was called patty rollers. And they did the same thing on up till today. They was patrolling in the black community back then as they is today. As they is today. It's the same thing. They patrol most dominantly in black neighborhoods, terrorizing them. It's the same thing. What do they say? History tends to repeat itself. It's no different. Those are up to today. Them are the children. Them are the children of those slave masters. That's a little history lesson. If you don't believe me, that information is out there. Y'all got a smartphone, use it. You got a smartphone, use it. So today they're your modern day police. They're your judges. They're your lawyers. Excuse me. They're your prosecutors. That judicial system is not for us. It wasn't meant for us. Yeah, we get little victories, little trinkets, and little victories here and there, but it wasn't made for us.
Brown law was meant for white people.
But y'all can look that information up.
It's black people. It was never intended for black people to use the stand your ground law to defend themselves against white people. And guess what, Art? White people don't care whether or not Carmelo is justified or not. They don't care.
Sure don't. That's facts.
That Carmelo acted in self-defense, and it will be. They don't care. The problem with white folks is in this country, black people do not have a right to defend themselves from Caucasians. This is a 400-year-old practice. This is a 400-year-old norm. This is a 400-year-old culture. This is a 400-year-old custom art. So
now y'all see why I made that thumbnail.
The law is on.
If you guys see my thumbnail,
the problem is,
do the slave code still exist?
Frisco, Texas art is a black boy values his own life enough. A black boy values his own life enough to take the life of a Caucasian in order to defend it. And in American history, you rarely come across black men, let alone a child, who valued his life enough and had courage enough to defend himself against two racists who were trying to harm him. And let me say this, Art.
I want to say this too, guys. I got so much information because I like to look up history, go back and look up history and stuff like that. I got so much information. Like I said, history repeats itself because it's cases where I forget what the little boy's name is. I think he may have been 14 years old. He was falsely accused and they put him in the electric chair. They had to put something in the electric chair so he could sit up, so he could fit the thing on his head. But they put him in the electric chair and executed him. So history repeats itself. Look at Emmett Till. My initially title was do the slave codes exist in these old slave states? That's what it's supposed to originally been. You see what I'm saying? Because if you notice in these little towns, and they have sundown towns that do exist. Let me brush up on that a little bit. These little sundown towns, they still exist. I know they exist down there where I come from. They still exist. You get caught in a certain place after dark, you may get unalive, and they might find you swinging from a tree. That stuff still goes on. But like I said, I have to hold that mirror up in front of white America's face so they can see themselves. Because they tend to want to ignore stuff because it's not affecting their life. Because that's what I see a lot. Oh, I'm not going to worry about it. Oh, they must have done something. So everybody is always that got unalive is all that have done something. I'll wait. This stuff is ridiculous, man. I had to do this. I had to do this because this Carmelo Anthony case and the brother, the young man in South Carolina. So it's just not now. Hold on, because I should have said this in the beginning too. It's just not the white man. You know what I'm saying? It's other nations, because all these other nations had us in slavery. The Chinese had us in slavery. And Russia, the Arabs, the Africans, all those people had us in slavery. And the sad thing about it is all this stuff is in the Bible. And Christ said there's a judgment for it because you have touched his people. You have touched his people. So yeah, ain't nobody paid for it. And it's because Christ is going to deal with it. Christ is going to deal with it. Because I'm going to be honest, you know what I'm saying? What can we do? We don't have a military. There's nothing we can do. It's going to take Christ to bring this place down. It's in the Bible. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's in the Bible, so you can get mad all you want to. Thus saith the Lord. It's coming. And if you don't read it, I suggest you read the King James 16:11 because that's the original Bible. Because it talks a lot about that stuff because it has everything in it. All these newer version Bibles, they take stuff out of it. They take stuff out of it. That's why I read this King James 16:11 because it's information in there that lets us that it's undisputable that can't nobody say, oh, Christ is not a colored person. Christ is not this, and color is all through the Bible. Job 30:30. You know what I'm saying? I am black. You know what I'm saying? No, Job 30:30 is my skin is black upon me. I may have got them mixed around, but all through the Bible, it talks about us. We fit the curses in Deuteronomy 28. Don't no other nations fit the curses in Deuteronomy 28. They don't. So you can't debunk that. So that's why I'm making this video for my brothers and sisters to wake up, man. Wake the hell up, man. Wake the hell up. All of this out here partying and, all this drama and being distracted and stuff. It's time out for that stuff. Really, it is. It's time out.
People are talking about why did he have a knife? He's a black man in Texas. Why wouldn't he have a knife? Are they?
He ain't got it now.
What if you could make a song using?
If you guys don't know the history, which everybody do, everybody try to play stupid. Everybody knows the history of Texas.
You better be carrying something. And check it out, Art. In Texas, guess what? It is perfectly legal to carry a knife in Texas as long
Is
as the blade
it's not bigger than your
doesn't
palm.
exceed 5.5 inches. So if Carmelo Anthony had a knife on him, that doesn't make him a criminal. After all, isn't this Texas? Isn't this the state?
They all carry knives and stuff down there.
Allowing its
Like I said, when it comes to us, it doesn't count. We're not allowed.
license to carry. So this is a state that prides itself on allowing its citizens to openly carry guns, firearms, without a registered license to carry. How can you be upset with a 17-year-old black boy who carries a knife for self-protection? He had a right to have that knife. He was not breaking the law to have that knife because Texas law allows children even to carry knives as
Facts.
long as the blade doesn't exceed the 5.5.
And you see that.
In bullying against his family are completely unacceptable. They threatening the family life. They threatening to harm their home. His father had to leave things.
You know what that reminds me of? Back then, when they threatened us back then, they threatened, and then but they came to the home and they pulled you out. It was a public lynching. It was always, whether it was a lie or not, you still was threatened, and you still was lynched. But we're the violent ones, though. We're the violent ones, though. When there's a history of white men being violent. Look at the history. For over 400 years of lynching, all the stuff that was done to us, diabolical stuff that that we wouldn't even do. It was all type of stuff done, bro. All type of things was done to us. And I'm not gonna drift off into that, you know what I'm saying? And stuff, because I'll end up taking it somewhere else, and I don't want to do that as badly as I want to and everything. But you know what I'm saying? And I know some of the information that I seen, I wouldn't have been able to put it up here anyway. But the mirror is being held up to your face, white America. That's why you guys want to do away with Black history, so little Johnny wouldn't be uncomfortable or feel guilty. The gall of that. Oh, this was done. Oh, it's perfectly okay. We don't care. But we want to make sure, you know what I'm saying, our children are okay.
Job to stay home with his wife and children because white people driving by in cars, threatening their life. They are literally under siege. But you know what's so hypocritical about this art?
That's those good old
White
boys.
people have always told us what? They say wait until the courts administer justice, and whatever the courts decide is the letter of the law. Don't they always tell us that this is a country of laws, that you don't take the law into your own hands? They told us that with George Floyd. They told us that with Breonna, Freddie Gray, Philando Castile.
But they can take the law in their own hands, though.
Amir Locke. Every time a Black person is killed, we're supposed to sit down, hold our emotions, fold our hands, and wait for the right.
That's what I said.
Criminal injustice system.
And it's not going to come.
Well, why aren't they doing the same thing with Carmelo? Why is his family being intimidated? Why are they being threatened? Why did his father have to take off of work? And then they accused them of tapping into the GoFundMe money when they didn't even tap into the GoFundMe money. They lied and said they went and bought a big house. They already had a house. They lied and said they went out and bought a car. They already had a car. Why y'all lying on this Black family? Y'all raised hundreds of...
The thing that some people don't understand like why they lie. They've been doing that for 400 years, lying. But it's been a lot of brothers, sisters, and children that's been lynched and killed behind lies. Emmett Till, the lady admitted, I think it was on her deathbed, that she lied about the situation with Emmett Till. No justice. Wasn't nothing done to her. Once again, that mirror.
Of thousands of dollars for the police killers of black people. Y'all raise hundreds of thousands of
Sure do.
even millions
Sure
for
do.
the white civilians
Sure do.
of black people. If y'all can raise money for your killers, why can't we raise money for one of our children?
They sure do. I see it all the
who had
time.
to take a life in order to defend his own? I stand with Carmelo Anthony. I stand with his family. I hope that God and the ancestors will bring justice.
God will.
I hope Black Texas shows up and shows out at the Carmelo Anthony trial. We cannot let that family be alone. Every black person in Texas, every black person in America even needs to be at that Frisco County courthouse when this case is tried. We need to let America know you don't have a right to put your hands on us and not expect us to fight back. And you know what's the most ironic thing about this whole piece, Art? The most ironic thing about the Carmelo Anthony case, because Carmelo sacrificed and stood up for himself, the most ironic outcome, Art, of the Carmelo Anthony controversy is because that young man was courageous enough to defend his own life. And unfortunately, it resulted in the loss of life for his assailant, one of his assailants. Now, when white kids bully black kids, they're going to have to think twice now, Art.
I know that's right. I know that's right. You know what I'm saying? I see on the internet, you see Trump has emboldened these people. I wouldn't have paid him no mind. I seen it with a little white boy. He was went, I don't know where he was, but I know he was where it was a lot of black people. He was trying to interview some black people, and he was trying to antagonize them to get a reaction. He got a reaction, you know what I'm saying? Which I can kind of understand the brother, but at the same time, I wouldn't even talk to him. I wouldn't even gave him no, you know what I'm saying? No, pay no attention to him. But I see that all over social media. It's just like, and people trying to repeat the thing with Chud the Builder is doing, going around saying people chimping out and all that stuff. I see it all over social media, man. I see all type of stuff over social media. We're in Jacob's trouble. The end times, it is here. But guess what, too? Christ is getting ready to come back. When he's coming back with those 100,000 angels. He's coming to get his people. And that day, it will be justice in that day.
Carmelo Anthony should be honored. Not for taking nobody's life. We don't honor death. We never do that. But for having the courage to stand up to two white bullies who are much bigger than him.
Yep.
Rest in peace to Hunter, who I believe lost his life. Because he had the courage to stand up to two bullies. Now, every black kid in America who's being bullied by white kids, those white kids are now going to think twice about what they're doing. Because if you keep it up, when you back somebody into a corner with fear, and
that's what I said earlier.
It might not work out for you. And I can tell you, Art, as a certified school psychologist who works in schools, when white children bully black children, nothing is done about it. Let
Nope.
me say that again. I'm talking California to Pennsylvania. I'm talking Texas to Connecticut and everywhere in between. When white kids bully black kids, nothing is done about it. There is a white privilege in America's public schools. There's a white privilege
Sure is.
in America's charter schools. There's a white privilege in America's.
And the thing about it is, he's right about it. But you'll get people, oh, that's not true. That's not true. But like I said, we're in the air. What's the scripture where it says that the man of perdition is going to be revealed? And that's what's going on. That's what's going on. That mirror is being held up. You're being shown that you're the wicked. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You're the man of perdition.
Independent schools. For all we know, and I'm not going to put this on them, but for all we know, Hunter and Austin could have a history of bullying black kids. And it finally.
They have a history of bullying. I'm going to bring that out too.
So white kids, just like white people, feel as though they have jurisdiction over the black body.
Yes, they do.
Carmelo Anthony, they will all have to think twice about that now.
Yep.
Black power.
I heard that.